it appears that we're through. I didn't go too far. I didn't. Well, folks, with all the plans, just pull the belt and let you look at a wobbly clutch. We had the rope to our recoil starter, got sucked up inside the coil housing. Now, I think we have to pull the engine, and as you can see, I got the table and the sawhorses pulled out, so we have some place to place that engine and diagnose all of our problems. I've never been inside the FL350 recoil starter, but I've had the engine out on numerous occasions, or at least once that I know of. So we're going to go ahead, pop the drive belt off, get all of our electrical. I think I'm just going to let the, the carb and all the fuel lines hang there. There's no sense on disconnecting them all. We're not doing anything with the carb. So I'll just pop that out of the intake and we'll just real quick pop the engine out. Only takes a second.
Nope.
All right, guys. Folks, after we fought to get this engine out, now what are we gonna do? Right, so I've got a wooden block here underneath our clutch. This is our 94C or 94A. I don't know, I always forget what the letter is, but this is the Comet Duster clutch. It's the 94 something. And yeah, I noticed a wobble during our last rip and ride. I don't know if something came loose. I don't have any idea. So I have our clutch puller and I have our impact. We're going to go ahead. We're going to pop this clutch off. Hopefully then clean up the shaft and put it back on and seat it correctly. And hopefully that takes care of our problem.
Nope.
I haven't ever had a good experience because apparently it's been on wrong the whole time. So yeah, it's really not a laughing matter. I really didn't want to see the wobble, but it's there. So let's go ahead. Let's take our 17 millimeter and let's pop this clutch off. Oh, our clutch came apart. Our clutch broke, guys. I don't know. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. It's definitely not our crankshaft. The bolt didn't break. Guys, I've never seen anything like this before. Wow.
Wow.
I guess that explains our clutch wobble. I'm just sitting here trying to... Do you see that? Do you see that?
Nope.
I am speechless. I don't know what to say. You guys saw it firsthand when I pulled that bolt off. I'm going to stop the camera for a second and I'll be right back. Oh, wow. All right, guys. So anyway, you saw our clutch exploded. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to use our brand new Bauer angle grinder and this cutoff wheel. We're going to hack this apart this way, and then we're going to do our best to get that shaft off of here without hurting our crankshaft at all. I don't know what went wrong, guys, but we must have got a bum clutch or something because this thing never worked right. All right, folks, let's get to cutting. And I got this steel plate right here. It goes all the way to the shaft so I don't go into our engine case. Alright folks, it's a new day. Our salvation arrived in the mail. We got our new 94 Comet Duster clutch from Joe at ATV. If you don't know about Joe from ATV, it's a premier place for FL350 and 350 parts. So head on over to odatv.com. Get something to keep your machine running. And also a big shout out to the guys at Harbor Freight. When I was on the crapper this morning, I was on the Harbor Freight website and I was looking at their tools, their cutoff tools, and this was our baby right here. Got a 3-inch cutoff tool, electric style. Went up there, picked it up with a 10-pack of 60 grit metal 3-inch cutoff wheels. Nephew Nick sitting off here to the sidelines because he wants to watch me cut this off. So alright guys, let's get everything unboxed, let's get it open, let's get a new cutoff wheel put on, we'll put on our safety goggles and our mask, and Nephew Nick can watch us cut this off. It shouldn't take too long. I think I'm going to do it in a 2-step process. First, hack the front of this snout off to get us level with our crankshaft so we can see where it starts and ends. I think that would be better, and then we'll go ahead and make the kind of diagonal cut and get it off that way. So alright guys, let's get busy. Alright, so while we were getting ready to make our diagonal cut, one of the broken pieces that, well, this is the piece that broke in half, which separated our two halves of the clutch, came out and exposed our crank end. But I don't know if you can see that we have a little sliver, we have a little sleeve of metal here that's going to prevent us from seeing how thick of metal we have to cut through. I'm going to grind this little thing off here, and we're going to make our diagonal cut. So I got our grinder out here, so let's go ahead, let's grind that off. Appears that we're through. I didn't go too far. I didn't go into our crank, but I figured it was better to grind the top down to get to our crank than it was to start cutting. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start doing some exploratory chiseling and see where we're at and how easy it's gonna be to get off. Should only be another second. So let me get you set back up and watch the magic happen. Say hi to nephew Nick.
Hi.
All right, we're gonna get busy. All right, guys, we did it. A little help from nephew Nick. We got our clutch off with one tiny little nick in our crankshaft. I was taking that back lip off. I went just a hair too far, but hey, we didn't destroy anything. Yeah. There's nothing that can't be reused. Everything's gonna go back together as good as new. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna polish this shaft up before we put the new clutch on. But before we tackle that, I've been asked to go ahead and explain the recoil starter, and I couldn't because I've never been into an FL350 recoil starter, but that's about to change. So let me get all cleaned up here. We'll get the engine flipped around, we'll get the camera set up, and we'll dive into the FL350 recoil starter. How does it work? What does it do? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. All right, guys, let me get cleaned up. All right, folks, now that we got that pesky clutch out of the way, we can get onto our recoil starter. I had to take the handle off the recoil starter rope, and it got away from me and it sucked up inside our housing, which I'm just interested in the part that has our rope. So let's go ahead and take that part off, which has these 4 bolts, and I'm pretty positive that they are a 8mm. Yep, there's our rope. To rewind the rope, it's just as simple as taking it out and winding it up in the direction that it's supposed to go around, which if you see me right here, I believe looking at the front of the engine, we're wrapping it clockwise. So we want to go ahead, sit it in there clockwise, making sure you're not crossing it. That's super simple. And then we're going to go ahead, we're going to pull some of this out. We're going to shove it through this hole, and we're going to take our vice grips, go ahead, grab a hold of that rope. So let's go ahead, let's bolt this back down, and let's get this rope pulled out so we can get the handle and the nut put on. All right, guys. But anyway, guys, that's our video for the week. Super excited to get all this work done, get our rope back out of the case so we can put it back in its proper holder and get that clutch off. We will be installing the new clutch in the next video. That'll be when we install the engine. I haven't decided. I don't know if you can pull the clutch off and put it on while the engine's in. I'd really like that. I don't know. I guess we're going to see. So I guess, like I always say, if you're riding, stay safe, wear a helmet, and don't forget, it ain't work when you're having fun, guys. And it definitely ain't work when you think things are messed up and you get things done and you find out after a little elbow grease wasn't that bad. And then you're spinning donuts in the FL350, having a blast. So I guess I'll see you next week, unless weather modification goes crazy and it rains for 2 days straight and the Susquehanna River floods and I have to jump on a piece of driftwood. But I promise, when I swim my way back upriver from wherever, whatever hole sucked me in, I'll see you then. All right, guys, see you next week. And don't forget about Nephew Nick. Leave a comment in the video if you'd like to see more of Nephew Nick. All right, guys, see you next week. I bought tools I didn't even need.